Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account. I'm your host, Rudolph, joined by AJ Haefele, as we will be getting into our entry draft mock draft today in just a little bit. But first, some news in and around the league. Avs related. First of all, Matt Calvert officially retiring from hockey today. The Denim Daddy himself. I don't think this is going to catch anyone too much by surprise, given his injury history and all of that. But obviously, well wishes his way and hope he has a extremely enjoyable retirement. So,
well-deserved retirement, man. Up in Lake of the Woods, hanging out. My favorite Matt Calvert story. It was like the most Matt Calvert thing imaginable, right? After their trip to Detroit, where he got held on the bench and then punched by Tyler Bertuzzi, I was like apoplectic, right? I was like, this is a crime of the century. And so I wandered over to him and was like, I thought this was ridiculous. How did you feel about it being like yanked into their bench and punched by some punk ass kid and like being held there and you couldn't do anything about it, and his face is all still messed up and bloodied and bruised, and he was like, I love that stuff. That's why you get into it. He was like, I was no angel. I speared that guy. And he was just like, I love it. I thought it was a great time. I live for that stuff. All right.
Different breed, I guess.
Yeah. Matt Calvert just wants to pick a fight with anybody. He just wants to get into it with folks. Me, crime of the century. Him, loved every second of it. Matt Calvert, just a great guy.
Some great guy and different. Yeah.
Brought a really fun attitude to the locker room, and wish him and the family well in retirement. Whatever he's going to do next, I hope his health comes back to the point where he's comfortable, and that he lives a day-to-day life easily. And we'll always remember him giving up the body as the Avs were trying to secure a postseason spot in the last 2 seconds of the game, blocking a shot with his third leg.
Yeah.
Hero stuff.
Yep. Obviously, great guy. Gonna be sad not to see him in the locker room anymore, but he's off to live the rest of his life without getting beat to a pulp every night in the NHL. So
God knows what he does, what he decides to do next.
Yeah, exactly. Something's gonna fill that void. But
whatever industry he wants to get into, look out that industry.
Yep.
Matt Calvert's coming.
He only knows how to go one speed. So.
Yep. that dude is gonna be a wrecking ball wherever he goes.
Around the league news, there really haven't been very many trades today.
Just the three
just the three trades, a couple of pending UFA signings to go along with that, but
yeah, Taylor Hall and Barclay Goodrow deals are finally done.
Yep.
Seattle makes
one trade so far.
Yeah, Tyler Pitlick to Calgary for a 4th round pick,
which explains one of their weird player selections, but not like the other 6 of them.
Valuing one single 4th round pick over Christian Fischer.
Definitely a little weird, for sure.
I mean, where does Fischer fit into that lineup? And they're probably better off with the 4th round pick than without it, just to have the extra pick. But they had the ultimate leverage on the entire NHL, and they walked out of it with 1 4th round pick.
Yeah. Not good. Not good at all.
So let's like Billy says in the chat here, like we'll We keep pushing it off, though, and being like, okay, well, we'll see where this goes. We'll see where this goes. We'll see where this goes. And so far, like, it looks like Ron Francis's reputation as a GM that does not make deals from Carolina has stayed true.
It would be,
and he blamed it on other GMs.
It would be mightily disappointing if he doesn't make any more deals, though.
Yeah,
like I'm giving him a week or two more to start shipping dudes, but every day that passes is more damning to Ron Francis.
Yeah. This just looks weird. And then the other deal, Nedeljkovic to Detroit.
Carolina swaps goalies, yeah.
For a third and Bernier. So Carolina gives up on their guy after 5 years of developing him and waiting for him to finally break through. He does. Yep. And then he wants the same contract that Driedger got. Yep. They said no. And 2-year deal at $3 million per. He signs with Detroit in 10 seconds.
Yep.
What the F? Like, I don't mind. From Carolina's perspective, I genuinely don't mind that they decided, hey, we aren't buying
what you're selling here. Yeah.
What Ned did is real here.
That's fine. Yeah. Like,
I don't mind that, but it's like, you've got to do something. And is John Bernier the answer? Is Mrazek? Is Reimer? Like, you have no goalies under contract right now. You've got to do something, right? It's just so far, it's a weird move. History will tell whether or not that was a smart play or not, but they might have had major Scott Darling flashbacks. With Ned and being like, oh, you had 25 really good games, huh? Great. Good for you. Go sign that contract. Just, we don't want to be the ones to do that. So we'll see.
I do struggle if it does end up being Bernier that they wanted to actually hold on to, because that dude is like a league average goaltender. Nothing against him. He's solid in the role that he plays, but
that's the comfort though, right?
Sure.
Is that you're trading a lack of comfort
for
a known quantity.
Comfort, yeah.
And they're like, look, we have propped up mediocre goaltenders consistently the last couple of years. We're comfortable with this. We don't need to spend a lot of money on this position because we believe that our defense can make these guys better than they are. All right, well, that's the bet that they want to roll with. Dope. I'm good with that. It's totally defensible, in my opinion, that they have that approach. We'll see how it works out. What was the third? Oh, yeah. Shane Gostisbehere, a 2nd-round pick and a 7th-round pick to Arizona for literally nothing.
Yep.
You look at the trade thing on Twitter that the teams put up, where each side gets something and Philadelphia's side is just empty.
Yep.
They get the cap space. And look, they needed cap space. That's all good and well. It's so funny how especially fans and people in our positions are like, oh, cap space. Yeah, cap space. That's amazing. That's cap space. The Avs have $30 million in cap space right now. Right now, they have the 5th most cap space in the NHL. Cap space is nothing until you start using it.
True.
So right now, it's all good and well. You'd rather have it than not, but you got to make use of it in some fashion. So we need to start seeing it. And obviously, free agency opens next week. That's what this is about. The roster freeze lifted today. We're back to business as usual in the NHL. Seattle's time as everybody's little personal darling that gets special rules is over. Welcome to the league. Time to figure your shit out.
Yep. It's time to get everything sorted for every team, to be honest. I mean, the next week is going to shape the NHL for next season, basically. I'm sure there'll be free agency signings a little bit past Wednesday, but it's crunch time for every GM at this point.
Yeah.
So gonna be a fun week. We'll put it that way. A lot of things gonna be going down, including tomorrow, the entry draft, because the NHL has decided they don't like gapping out their events anymore, and they're just all going to come at you one after the other immediately. So today we're bringing you our final, it might be our first this year, entry draft mock as well.
It's our only one. I didn't write one either.
Yeah.
In the past, I've written one immediately after the lottery, and then when the season ended, I wrote a full first round one. And this year, I didn't do any of that because the Avs have just been so they pick so late, and this draft class especially. Yeah. I think tomorrow we're going to see guys that you and I are not about to pick in our mock and that are listed in public rankings in the 30s, 40s, and 50s going in the first round. I think it's going to be total mayhem tomorrow. I genuinely just think we're about to see something wild because the evaluation of this class from the people that I've talked to, the evaluation of this it's completely all over the board.
Yeah, I believe that. Just you get past the top 10 or 15 or so, and teams are just going to splinter into dudes that they like. So
yeah, it's just been. I haven't wanted to do one. It's never been the case. Rudo, people have asked multiple times in the chat why the pods have been slow to upload. I'm just going to turn this over to you since I'm not in charge of that anymore.
Yeah, so I still haven't been able to fix this. Some days it works perfectly fine, and I upload it right away. Other days, the program that we use is called Megaphone, and for reasons beyond my knowledge, it takes 6 hours for them to process a podcast. So I just have to wait till it's processed and then post it. I have no answer for you. I put them up as soon as I notice that they're processed and ready to go up, but it's on the digital computer side on Megaphone's end. I can only post it as soon as they allow me to post it, basically.
Yeah, we've been getting this question like
a lot. Yeah,
a lot. So, don't know.
But hopefully Megaphone fixes whatever problem it is that they have.
Yeah, well, and the curiosity, Rudo has the fastest internet of anybody at the company.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is a Rudo specific. I mean, I guess it could be for some insane reason.
But like, I upload stuff to YouTube just fine. I upload super fast. It's just Megaphone that does this, so I don't know. But
yeah, and it's a curiosity that other beats aren't having these issues.
I don't know, man.
We are just as stumped as everybody else, but we're also the same people that watched as all of our gear just slowly stopped working as the show was going on last night.
Reason yesterday,
and like Ali's sanity just continued to like get pushed one step closer to the edge. Yeah, that was last night. Was messed up, man. I felt so awful for her. Like we were just like, whatever. Like this got ruined. This got ruined anyway. So
right.
We're not too pressed about it, but you know, from her end, it was just a disaster. It sucks, dude.
Just the way things go sometimes.
Yep.
But in any case, before we jump into our mock draft, we are brought to you all by Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR, which you can grab down at the bar, or as AJ always recommends, if you see their seltzers, grab them because they fly off the shelves. Apparently, they are tough to find.
Yep. I need to get heading back up to Canada here in a bit. I need to get a whole. I need to get on some, man. I need to actually make it back up there with some, so she can try them all.
So if you got a source, AJ needs some seltzers from Breck Brew.
Yeah,
get out there.
If you see them and you buy them, I will Venmo the money and come pick them up.
There you go. Bam. AJ got the hookup for you, or I guess you can hook up AJ. Really, that's right. In that case, but
help me out.
Yeah. So check out Breckenridge Brewery. We're also brought to y'all by DraftKings Sportsbook. Obviously, their current bet, if you sign up for a new account with DNVR, is no-brainer tier. You basically just get given $100 if the U.S. wins a medal at the Olympics. So jump on that one. Go get yourself a free $100. I don't know why you wouldn't do that, I guess, is my my question here. But
Olympics off to a tough start.
I do want to jump into this a little bit as well, because for our DraftKings pick of the week, AJ, under or over, and this just to reiterate how stupid it is that they're giving you $100 for the U.S. to win a medal. The under or over for the U.S. total medals at this Olympics is 112.
Okay.
Are you taking the under or the over on that one?
I'm gonna take the under this time.
All right. We can. 112 is a lot of medals, man.
That's a lot of events to be doing work in.
To be clear, I think the next highest team is Great Britain at 44.5. So the U.S. expected. No, okay, Japan is under over at 51, but still, U.S. more than double any other team in that market. So, oh, you're right. I am actually blind. China's 85.5. There you go. One team that's not less than half of the U.S.'s total. Still significantly less, though. In any case, go bet on U.S. Our pick of the week is under 112, but certainly over 1 with DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. See DraftKings.com again for Sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast as we head into this mock draft. AJ, I guess I have pick number 1, correct? So are we ready to do this?
Yeah. Just real quick to answer Greg's question. Yes.
All
Echo
right.
is the method rebuild.
Yep, it is.
Great story, by the way, of them ascending the mountain again.
Yep, getting back to the top that quickly.
Yep, after everything that happened with their organization and dudes that watched out everything they'd built fall apart because of something they had no part in. And
yep,
it was cool just to see those cats separated. Get back to it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a good story.
Speaking of rebuilds, if I'm in charge of Buffalo, I'm burning it down again in that city. I
wish we could make like big deals. Maybe we should have gone more thoroughly into this, and you traded a bunch of dudes away and you ended up with like 3 first-rounders.
Yeah, like obviously I can't do the picks, but that was essentially my plan. Is like Eichel is gone, Reinhardt is gone. With the first overall, I'm taking Owen Power. So I have the defense.
You're doing what?
Yep. I'm taking the young defense, and I'm building the worst roster possible so I can go get Shane Wright and probably Connor Bedard the year after that, and then start being a decent hockey team.
Okay. So you're taking Owen Power. Are you playing him in the NHL this year?
No.
Okay. Poor Rasmus Dahlin.
Yeah, he's gonna have a rough year in Buffalo.
That guy should go have hip surgery and be out for the whole year.
Exactly right.
And just be like, oh god, this sucks. Not put all the wear and tear on his body for a full season, just push his aging curve down a year.
Nah, I'm good.
I don't want that. Eichel and Reinhardt are gone. Reinhardt replaces Landeskog in Colorado and goes on to have a nice big fat season. And Landeskog's doing work in the island, and Eichel misses half the season. And I don't know, where does he go? I don't have a landing spot for him.
Probably Minnesota.
Oh, good call. Good call, friend. Well, can they, with their cap penalties that they have in the next few years, could they afford him now?
They can this year. I don't know about after that.
Could they afford him with the cap penalties? Can they afford him and Kaprizov at whatever?
Not. Probably not.
All right. So they bought themselves out of the Eichel sweepstakes. So Eichel won't be in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Poor
Thank you for the super chat, Sasha, by the way. Nice to meet you the other day. P.S. We will be at the bar as well Friday for the draft if people are coming out. But
it was a good time last night, wandering around and saying hi to everybody while we were still down there, and Then went down afterwards, had some drinks, and chatted with some friends.
Yeah,
it was a fun night. It was a fun night being back at the bar and seeing peeps.
Yep, looking forward to doing it again Friday. But in any case, Owen Power goes to Buffalo. Tempted to take Luke Hughes first overall and just blow up the draft, but decided not to.
All right. Well, I've got Seattle's pick. We've been talking about it all week. This is the pick that I would make. This is, pretty straightforward, I think.
Yeah.
He's been my guy in this draft class for a while now. I don't know. Matty Beniers is just that guy.
Yeah,
he's the big thing with Beniers. I don't buy overwhelming talent is not there.
Yeah.
But he's such a hard worker and he's got such a high motor and he is very skilled. His comps are always, like O'Reilly and Bergeron. If he becomes that great, maybe he has more of like a Sean Couturier type career where it's a slow start points wise, and then he breaks out and figures it out, later on in his career. Anyway, Beniers to Seattle. It's an easy one.
All right.
It's a great way to set a tone for an organization too.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect pick for them in so many ways. That's a dude that you look at as potentially a future captain of the team too. It becomes a whole lot of options, but yeah.
Brechton's question is Beniers comparable to what we saw in Turcotte 2 years ago? No. I would say they're really quite different players. I mean, the character and the motor are similar. The Turcotte also got put with the two-way acumen, but he was also getting to feast on a lot of like depth dudes.
When you're not on the top line of the USN TDP,
he got to eat greedy against the second the second line in the USHL.
Yep.
So. So I would say Beniers is a little bit different. I don't think he has quite the offensive creativity, like the raw, just like playmaking ability of what Turcotte did. But I like him as an all-around player more than that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I'd rather have Beniers than Turcotte if I had to pick one of the two. I have Anaheim third. This one, all right, so y'all already know I love Eklund, but Anaheim already has Zegras, which made the Eklund pick hard for me. And I do think they need to round out their defense. Yes, they have Drysdale, but after that, it gets pretty sparse pretty quickly. I don't love Jackson Lacombe as much as AJ does.
I like his skating.
Anaheim has a handful of other options on the forward/center side. They got Colangelo last year. They have, if you feel good about Janicki, they have him as well. Lundestrom is still finding his way, but I think they have a little bit more on the forward side. Luke Hughes is right there. I thought this one was pretty easy. Slam dunk Luke Hughes on this one. You end up with Hughes and Drysdale on this team down the line, and all of a sudden you're building a pretty damn good defense on a team that currently does not have the world's best defense at the moment because they keep trading away decent defenders. But yeah, they have Shattenkirk. Their defense is rounded out by like Shattenkirk and Josh Manson right now. So
yeah, Manson's got a year to UFA.
Yeah.
So it's really like whatever they decide to do with Hampus Lindholm,
Cam Fowler.
Yeah, and Cam Fowler's like still in the first half of that 8-year deal that he signed.
Yep.
And then the two youngsters, this would be Drysdale and Hughes.
Yep. I guess they have Jacob Larson as well, but
Yeah.
That's
We
not.
remember when we looked at his numbers and went,
Yeah, no thanks.
that guy might be real bad.
So yeah, I think it's easy defensive pick there for Anaheim, and Hughes is my boy in this case.
All right. Well, I'm left in a really tough spot here because I'm picking for New Jersey, and I've gotta. I'll be honest here. This is really between two players for me.
Okay.
I'm really torn here between William Eklund and Brant Clark. I really want the defenseman for the organization for New Jersey because they're kind of iffy on the back end overall.
Sure.
But the best player here is William Eklund. And this is a gift. I mean, they've got two centers that they think that they should build around here in Hischier and Jack Hughes, and lesser so whatever Pavel Zacha will continue to be. And they took Alexander Holtz last year, Eklund this year. This feels like if it weren't for my personal philosophy of you just draft defensemen until you have hit on them so much and so frequently and at such a level that you just don't need to do it anymore. Then if it weren't for that, this I think would be even easier. But even I'm just looking at this going, I'm sorry, but that Eklund, and especially given that Eklund and Holtz have played together, like you drop those guys on either side of Jack Hughes, and I'm sorry, but that's the makings of a problem in Jersey. So I'm taking Eklund.
Yeah, I have no qualms with that pick. As much as I would have loved to take him in Columbus, Eklund, even at 5, to me feels low for him.
Yeah.
There's a different universe where I picked him first overall to go to Buffalo, but I didn't want to.
I would have been about it, man. I would have been about it. I would have supported you completely. I don't love Owen Power. All right, you have Columbus.
Yep. Next up, Columbus. Eklund would have been a slam dunk pick for me, but since he's gone, I'm looking over Columbus's roster, and this team has no future at defense.
And they're about to trade Seth Jones.
Right, they're about to trade what has been their key defensive piece for a handful of years. Yes, they still have Werenski on the team, but they're getting by with whatever Dean Kukins are and Scott Harrington's in the depth of their defense.
Yeah.
And you look at their systems, and they have a whole lot of nothing. Their only kid under 20 is Kanazko on the defensive side.
Yeah.
So they need D really, really badly. I already mentioned I don't love Brant Clark, so I'm gonna go down, take my Swedish buddy and take Simon Edvinsson.
All right.
You said this was pick who you want, not who you think he'll take. So
no, totally.
All right, 6th pick is the Red Wings for AJ here.
Again, feeling a little squeezed here by 2 players.
Boy, he's got multiple options.
I want playmaking. I want some sizzle for an organization that doesn't have any. So I want Kent Johnson.
All right.
Tons of flash, tons of upside, tons of puck skill. Could be a really dazzling NHL player. Really want a goaltender.
If you don't take it, I'm taking it with my next pick. So
really want a goaltender. So I'm torn. I mean, if I'm Detroit, maybe Detroit feels comfortable. Maybe I don't want a goaltender quite as badly after the Ned deal today.
True. That's true.
Now, granted, you should not be drafting to your NHL roster. You should be drafting to your organizational needs versus and combination of that and best player available,
especially at the goaltender position.
Right. And if you really think that Jesper Wallstedt is the guy, then that should be the pick. And I believe in him as the guy, so I'm taking him 6th.
All right.
Going big.
Making San Jose's choice a lot harder by doing that.
Oh, no, not that.
Wallstedt was a slam dunk for San Jose, I think. But they can't get it now. San Jose, I don't know, man. They're completely screwed. The amount of money they're paying their top 3 defenders, who all kind of suck now, they just have no hope. They're stuck with Martin Jones in net as well. Look,
I mean, they're trying to get rid of that guy. I think they're going to buy him out, man.
I know they're trying, but
I think they're going to buy him out. I think they're just going to eat it and just be like, well, that sucked.
Look when you're a franchise in this situation, I think you just take the most talented player out there, the player that has the potential to be the most impactful for you. And as you said, since Wallstedt is gone, that's Kent Johnson. So
I'm good with that.
I think they just take the most talent they can get their hands on and hope for the best a couple of years down the line when they start to shed some of this awful contracts.
So, Dylan Guenther.
Still don't like him.
You and I, not in love.
Yeah.
And it's showing here.
Yeah, he's now falling to at least 8.
Yeah, so at 8, look, Dylan Guenther, I mean, this would probably, other people love him, and this would be a coup for them if he got all the way down here. Yeah. I don't, and I really don't like what LA has done defensively with all this vaunted farm system of theirs. I don't love that, and so I'm taking Brandt Clarke.
All right.
I like the player a lot. I probably would have taken him earlier, but
yeah, you like him more than Edvinsson, right? So
I do like him a lot more than Edvinsson. He actually has translatable skills.
Okay,
he does things. He does things with a puck that are actually meaningful.
Boy, yeah. I think it makes sense for LA. They can't just live off of a aging Drew Doughty forever. They have to move into the future of their defense, and
like Matt Roy and Mikey Anderson.
They're solid dudes. Sure.
Tobias Bjornfoot, like they're.
But is there high end there? I don't know.
Exactly. Like they're kind of missing like a guy, and as much as Drew Doughty like fancies himself that dude still, and he played like it for 20 whole games last year, the rest of the season also happened.
Yeah.
So they need something else. They need and I think they need to just keep working on it.
Yeah. It's always a work in progress, right? You can't ever empty out the cupboards, or you're going to end up in trouble really, really quickly if you do that. So next up, it's me with Vancouver at 9, right? Yeah. Okay. So Vancouver is a hockey team.
We're a team.
They feel awfully stuck in the Calgary zone a little bit to me, but you know what? You can draft for the future a little bit here. You can improve your team a little bit. Unfortunately for them, a lot of the defensemen didn't make it to their pick.
Yeah.
But they pretty much have to go forward here, I think. I'm not going all the way down to like a Lambos or something to pick up a D. So I guess I could YOLO Casa, but they don't need to YOLO Casa. So
that should be his first name.
Casa.
Yeah. His name should just now be YOLO Casa.
YOLO Casa. There is definitely a part of me that wants to take Coronado here.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to go with Lucius instead because he's a center.
Okay.
And you just in the top
No
10.
McTavish?
Nah, I like Lucius more than McTavish.
Okay. Why is that? I'm curious.
Just what I've seen from him out of the USNTDP, the dude is consistent. I need consistency in offensive production. McTavish, I'm not saying it's bad. Look, don't get me wrong. Anytime a kid can go out there and play in a pro league, great. But you see Cy Young numbers there.
Good size though. Two-way guy. Plays a heavy game. He's kind of a wide body. He's gonna add a lot of pounds on the frame. Not a great skater though. So how does it all translate?
Points pay to me, and that's exactly where it's at. Especially for the team that I see Vancouver building. Just give me more and more offensive talent to pile on.
I tell you what, I'll get on skates for $100 if you can figure out how to fucking spell Landeskog.
Man, memed.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Am I supposed to ban him? Did I ban the wrong guy?
No, you got the right cat.
All right, is that just his second account? Maybe
I'm assuming.
In any case, I'm taking Lucius at 9.
Nice.
Craig McTavish falling a little. Not does that?
I wonder. I don't know.
In any case, at 10 is the Ottawa Senators for AJ.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to stop the fall here.
Yep.
We've got two guys really that I think have really started to slip here between Genther and McTavish.
I mean, yeah, Genther, especially in the real world, is a top 10 pick. Like even with my dislike for him,
he's probably a top 5 man. Like he could go to Anaheim third tomorrow, and nobody in the hockey world
would be shocked at all.
Blink.
Yep. So,
that is, I think it's
time.
Yeah. I would honestly, I really want to take McTavish here. So because I think he's a better fit for Ottawa.
Sure.
Another center for them to just take a chance on. So I think I'm going to. Screw it. I'll take McTavish.
All right. I like that. Makes Chicago's pick very easy to take Genther then.
Okay. I'll just put that in there.
Yep. Look, again, I've been on record on this podcast saying I don't like him, but I still think he's a top 10 talent.
At some point you're like, all right, the things that I don't like about him is the third overall pick. When we get all the way down to 11 here, little bit different of an
I mean, for the record, am I picking for Chicago at 11, or do I have a removed pick?
We're ignoring the Arizona nonsense there.
Okay, just to be sure.
Yeah.
So 12 would be Calgary for you, AJ.
I don't know what to do here. This is where the draft gets to where I have no idea.
Well, it's not only that, but also you're kind of sitting around waiting to see if Calgary wants to blow it up or not right now.
Yeah. I really Coronado, Lambos, and Sillinger are probably the 3 guys that I'm going to look at here.
I think it's a little early for me for Lambos, but yeah, Coronado and Sillinger.
I think this is where I start with, because I think Lambos is the next bestie, and I really, really like Lambos. Yo, the PS, that grilled cheese and tots last night they were good. Gave me some mad heartburn though. That sucks.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah, that has never happened to me before from a grilled cheese. That was different. I don't know, man. This one kind of hurts my heart a little bit. I'm such a Cole Sillinger fan.
Yeah.
And This is what's different about this year's mock draft for us, is we're taking the guys we like.
True enough.
I am not sure it wasn't the rum. So I'm taking Cole Sillinger to Calgary. Let's just do that. I like it.
All right, bang.
I like it, man.
Count it. Where
From
is
downtown.
he on this list? There he is. Okay, got it.
Who are you looking for?
I was looking for Sillinger on the draft sim list because they don't have on whatever list I just auto put in there isn't Bob's list.
Oh yeah. I did the same thing. He's in the 20s.
Yeah, I found him. It's all good. All right, next up is me with the Flyers, who are also a hockey team after last year. A bit of a struggle for them, but they did seemingly survive the expansion draft without giving up anything of value. And then they just got rid of Gostisbehere today. So I could be talked into a defenseman here, but again, I think there's just more talent out there. If I really wish they had a second first-round pick. If they had a second first-round pick, I would love to take a shot on Ratu here, but they don't.
Yeah.
So I think I'm leaning towards Coronado and a high-end goal scorer potentially for Philly on this one.
Okay, I'm good with it. So we've got kind of a run here between Philly, Dallas, the Rangers, St. Louis, Winnipeg, and Nashville. All of these teams.
Yep.
Don't really need
a
goaltender.
Yep. Costs are going to fall a little bit.
It was really Chicago and Calgary. And Chicago felt easy because Ginther fell.
Yep.
And Calgary, if they're going to push reset, man, they're going to need some
actual talent.
Yeah. And I think the combination of Sillinger and Connor Zary, who they got last year,
could be deadly for sure.
Moving in the right direction. It feels good moving in that direction. Rather than taking the big swing on Yolo Casa.
Yeah. No YOLO Casa here. It's just so if you're pushing the reset right now too. I mean, you're talking about drafting a goalie that's 2, 3, 4, 5 years out. Like you really have no idea.
Yep.
When that guy joins the rebuild,
and they don't appear to be pushing reset.
No, they
just lost Mark Giordano off the time. Okay, well he's gone now. There hasn't been any other reaction.
True enough.
They've taken some calls on Kachuk, but haven't moved him. So anyway, Dallas. This one, I don't know. This one, are there any guys who are 6'5" that I can just pick?
Right. Biggest dude left on the board.
Are there any guys that are really, really big that skate really fast but may not do anything else?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. Let's see. Let me pull up Bob's list and see who's tall.
Because there's a lot of 6-foot guys, and this is also sort of the problem, quote unquote problem, with this draft class is that there's a ton of dudes who are 5'10".
I mean, Casa's 6'6".
Fair enough.
Yeah, you'd have to go pretty off board. Chayka 26 on Bob's list is the next dude that's 6'3" anyway, but.
All right. Well, I won't go that far, just to prove a point. All right. Well, then the next guy that I'm going to take, I'm gonna stick with their kind of it's their comfort level in taking Russians, and I'm going to take Fedor Svechkov. Kind of the two-way guy, not super flashy, just sort of fits their MO. Not a really high-end dude, but a guy that can play that kind of two-way game that they really like. So,
and
Svechkov's the guy.
Never been afraid to take Russians there either. So,
yeah.
Makes sense to me. Rangers, another one I would consider YOLOing Ratu on. But
at any point, are you starting to consider Fabian Lysell?
Not really, man.
Wow. Not that much of a fan, huh?
No.
Okay.
If I'm taking one of those kids out of the Euro leagues, it's going to be Ratu over Lysell, honestly.
Okay. While he's on the board, certainly makes sense.
But I know I'm one of the Ratu believers, so that's just my liking to it. All right, let's see. So I do think they probably want a center, or at least a forward. Maybe I can convince myself to take Ratu here, actually.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Somebody's going to take a chance on him, man.
It's between Ratu and Bolduc here.
Okay, well, what do you like about them that you're getting into?
I think Ratu has the higher end talent. It's just, does it come to fruition or not? How important is that this pick hits like all the way for New York is kind of what I'm thinking about.
Okay.
But I do think that I'm leaning towards Bolduc here. I can't even say his name. Is it Bolduc or Bolduc? I don't know.
I've always thought it was Bolduc.
Asking me to pronounce French names you knew was a mistake from the beginning. So
yeah, somewhere Z's laughing. haven't listened to me try my hand at French over the last couple of weeks. Okay, Bolduc it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bolduc for sure. It just a little bit more security there, more to work with, a little bit more reliable of a pick, I think. In New York's case, I think they'll get a player out of him, whereas there's that shot with Ratu that you don't.
Okay.
All right, St. Louis is next for AJ.
Yeah. I really want to pick to their organization, kind of what they need. But I'm not sure I can take LaRue here. Because it feels like you put LaRue with Jake Neighbors from last year, and you're just like classic Blues, right? Like classic Blues picks. But they really need defense. They really need some young defenders. So I'm taking Carson Lambos.
All right.
I think he's a great fit for them. They need a guy that can move some pucks. And I'm more comfortable with Carson Lambos than I am with Kulemans out of the AJHL. Kulemans.
Yeah.
Corson versus Carson.
Jeez.
Western Canada, man. You guys are out of control.
All right. St. Louis jumping us back onto the D train.
Mm-hmm.
We can take our second period break there, actually, because we need to.
We're halfway through.
Yeah. Brought to y'all by Cheval Mortgage. Both Mike and Virginia have been in the business for a long time here in Colorado, and they're diehard sports fans, just like everyone here at DNVR. So be sure to check them out. They're awesome. Mike is a certified financial planner, so he will actually, look at all of your finances and set up a loan that makes sense for you instead of just getting you the best rate. He'll also get you a great rate, but it'll actually make sense as a loan in your life. So I highly recommend that, especially these days because, buying a house is expensive right now, and they can get that hooked up as best as possible for you. You can check them out at dnvrmortgage.com, where you can get free DNVR merch. At very least, go there for that and get yourself a free consultation. You can also call them, both Mike and Virginia, at a phone number that I definitely know and am not looking up the number right now. It's 303-257-6578, or again, just go to dnvrmortgage.com. Michael Chevalier, NMLS 1931006. Virginia Chevalier, NMLS 1910631. Also brought to y'all by Strava Craft Coffee. You can get 25% off when you use code DNVR25 at checkout online for your first purchase, and then 20% off indefinitely after that if you sign up for their subscription service. Be sure get them at the bar as well. They have cold brew, delicious stuff. Yeah, they've been one of our longer partners too. So obviously they're pretty good. If y'all keep drinking it, be sure to check them out. Last but not least, brought to y'all by Green Mountain Dental. You can check them out just 15 minutes from downtown over in Lakewood to get nice, pretty teeth like I have now. I like having teeth. Teeth are good. Go to Green Mountain Dental, schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam, and you'll get a free Sonicare toothbrush as well. Everyone who's switched has said they are great. So, yeah, awesome. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, with Winnipeg as the next pick here. Winnipeg is an interesting one because they do have, I think, a little bit of talent on the forward side, like Cole Perfetti coming along. And their defense is kind of suspect, to say the least.
Yeah, but their defense also is where their better young players
Correct.
are. Between Dylan Sandberg, who they have really, really high hopes for,
Yeah,
and Ville Heinola, who is very NHL ready. They just won't put him there for some inexplicable reason.
Yeah,
they're ready to rock, man. Like, they've got some young guys that they can slide in there. Josh Morrissey's been a pretty big disappointment since signing the big deal.
Yeah,
it's kind of strange. Josh Morrissey and Jacob Trouba, great together, badly struggled apart. So interesting to note there. Neil Pionk's been a good find for them. So
it has been. That's true.
As much I love making fun of his name and just what it sounds like when you say it, it's a he's been solid for them, and they last year with Perfetti really added a good one, but this is, if there's a defender that you like here, you could justify it for sure. Like, if this is like if you're gonna go with like a Daniil Chayka here, that's a very Winnipeg pick.
I'm torn once again, and this is, I either have to pick him now or pick him with my next pick if it's gonna be my Ratu pick is the thing.
Okay, yeah.
But I for the defensive side, despite you not loving him, I was looking at Kulemans.
That's also fine. I have no issues with that. That would also be. I think for me, I have more questions about Kulemans than I do about Chayka.
I think that's somewhat fair, but I also think, especially for Winnipeg, look, you're trying to hit on high-end talent that you get to control and keep in Winnipeg for a good long minute. So
trying to get guys on second contracts.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to take Kulemans in the end for Winnipeg.
All right, and if I'm Nashville, I am sprinting up to the stage and I'm taking Fabian Lysell.
Easy enough.
Honestly, I really wanted to take him with St. Louis's pick. I think he's a really dynamic talent. I like him a lot more than us picking him 18th in our mock would suggest. But I had to be the GMs of different teams, and I just don't think that he's a Blues or a Stars type of pick. He doesn't really a smallish dynamic guy like that doesn't really feel like their style, But for the Preds, everything is their style. Every single year, they're in on everything at every position and everyone because David Poile just likes everything. As long as they
moves, yeah.
As long as they cost money. He's all about it. He can't wait to give Fabian Lysell $8 million in 5 years.
All right. Thank you for the super chat, Carrie. Now that Donnie is, I assume you mean gone, who do you guys think will replace him?
For right now, Alex Newhook.
Yeah, until the Avs do something in free agency, the internal replacement is Newhook. I think, pretty easily. As a guy, the Avs would love to get some second line minutes too, depending on situation as well. But all right, AJ, how much do you like Oliver Rodrigue?
Not enough to not take YOLO here.
My man. Because that's what I'm doing with Edmonton. Is I am taking Sebastian Casa, the second goalie coming off the board here. They also have Konovalov, I guess, but yeah, Edmonton. They don't have a great goalie on their roster. I don't think they have a great goalie pool in their prospects. Say what you want about Stuart Skinner, but his AHL numbers were good this year, but not great. And before this year have been pretty bad. So
yeah, I'm good with that pick. Yeah, I'm good with it. Cool. I think it makes sense.
Casa to Edmonton, as we're getting into the section of the draft where we just slowly crush the Avs' dreams with all of these picks.
Yeah.
All of the dudes that people are hoping fall are just going to get gulped up here. As you have Boston picking next.
Yeah, so this is where I'm going to start doing my thing.
All right, we're going off board, baby.
Not so far.
Okay.
But I am going to go with LaRue because this feels a very on-brand pick. You know, he's a really skilled guy, but he's got a real attitude and edge to him.
Sure.
I think in the Boston locker room, you know, Brad Marchand would actually be a great voice for him to be like, look, I was a total scumbag the first half of my career, and I've got this thing figured out. I toe the line now, and I'm a really high-end NHL player while still being an annoyance to the existence of everybody else in the league, but I don't cross that line. So I think LaRue in Boston.
All right. I like it. I do like that one quite a bit. So I have Minnesota next. To preface this, I'm living in a world where they go out and get Jack Eichel.
So they don't have this pick. So it's Buffalo's pick.
we're saying they traded some next year's first and the year after that or something.
Okay.
Or they found a way to hang on to this pick for the sake of this show. But my point being, they don't need a 1C.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go towards the defensive side here once again and take Chaika.
Oh wow! Okay,
it'll help relations with his boy Kaprizov. A couple of Russians together.
Start drafting Russians so that he has friends.
Exactly.
Very sneaky, sir. Okay, so if I've got Detroit, who did I trade for Detroit earlier? Oh, I took Wallstedt earlier. All right. Well, I'm taking. I'm in this case. I am going for the dynamic skater. I'm going for a guy that I think has the potential to be a really high end type of player. If everything goes right and he ends up in a great situation, and I'm taking Logan Stankoven.
Okay.
I don't care that he's 5'8". I'm going for it. 2 first-round picks means I get to get wild.
2 firsties, and you didn't take Ratu. You're breaking my heart here, AJ.
I don't plan to either. I'm just looking at my board.
I know you got other picks that you like, but
yeah.
All right, I have Florida. Florida's a weird one. They kind of can just use whatever and be happy with it in their system. So
this is a true BPA right here.
Yep.
They don't need anything, but they could use everything.
Yep, exactly right. I could almost be tempted by Postujov, but I think I got it. I can't talk up Ratu and let him keep ball. He's got to go.
All right.
I got to believe in my boy.
I do like Pastujov.
Could be tempted, but I'm going with Ratu there. Columbus, who has already taken Edmondson for the record.
Yeah, I should let you have this pick since you've already been this GM. You picked Ratu, right?
Yeah, for Florida, I picked Ratu.
Okay. Man, this is tough.
Florida doesn't need a goalie. They have Spencer Knight already.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, Casa's already gone in this particular mock. So
for Columbus, I think I don't love the fits of some of these guys that I'm looking at here.
Here we go. Let's get adventurous.
I think I'm going to double up on defense.
Okay.
I think I'm going to double up on defense, and I'm taking Scott Morrow.
All right.
I'm going to bet. I want to bank on the really high-end skating ability. I want to bank on electric offensive ability, and a guy that can't play defense. As of right now, can't play defense. But the high-end ability is there. They like the absolute rock your balls off kind of offense is there with Scott Morrow, and
find it with any consistency.
Yeah. And I just think, again, with a late first round pick, we know that their board looks a little bit different, and so that makes me comfortable reaching into the bag of tricks here and going with a guy that I think is probably going to go second or third round. But I really, really, really like the offensive upside there. It is absolutely. It is absolutely insane. So,
all right. So next up is Minnesota again. I already picked Chaika for them. I could fully commit to the Russian turncoat for Minnesota and go with Chibrikov here, but I think BPA right now is Pastujov on the wing for them. So,
how do you feel about him? I'm so blah about him, about both this guy and Chibrikov. I'm like, I like them. They're okay.
They'll be NHLers, intriguing. But will they be impactful? I don't know. Honestly, it's a perfect fit for an organization like Minnesota, who seems to lack high-end forward talent, but they get by with dudes like Pastujov and Joel Eriksson X of the world.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good with it.
All right. So Pastujov to Minnesota.
I wonder with Pastujov if what is he truly good at? Like, what's the thing that's going to get him into the NHL?
Being just generally solid and being in Minnesota, who likes that kind of player.
And that's kind of my problem with both Pastujov and Chibrikov here, is that I'm not sure what gets them to the league. I think they're both good all around play. Like, the thing that about Mackie Samoskevich,
yep,
it's going to be offense.
Yeah,
right. It's going to be dynamic. It's going to be puck skill and flashy offense. It's going to be great playmaking, really high end stuff. Right. It's not going to be a lot of goal scoring. It's going to be a lot of creating for the guys around him. But he's going to have to overcome the fact that he doesn't understand defense has to be played at all. Like, he's a totally one-way player. But at least you can see if Samoskevich gets to the NHL, you know what gets him there. And my problem with Pastujov and Chibrikov, both of these guys, is that, and I've always grouped them in. In my mind, they're the same guy. Like, they're what gets them to the NHL.
I think I agree with you more on Chibrikov than I do with Pastujov. I think Pastujov has a well-rounded enough offensive game that he can make it work. Now, he is going to Notre Dame.
Oh, God.
So there is that factor to it. But maybe if it's a non-Avs prospect going to Notre Dame, they can get a player out of it.
Those guys are allowed to develop properly.
Yeah, right. But I do think Pastujov does have a little bit more offense than you're giving him credit for. I'm not saying he has wicked high-end level stuff, but I do think it's enough to see a path to the NHL for him.
It's funny because I ask that question, but it's like if Pastujov got to Colorado and they took him, it's like
Be
a clear
stoked about it. Yeah.
It's like a straight line.
Yep.
Like I understand how this works for the Avs organization.
Sure.
And where he goes, because there's certain, like, they've got pretty defined roles that they need out of guys.
Yep.
But if it's like if they took Chibrikov, I would feel less confident about that path forward. Today, anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually.
I would want to know what the plan is. Which is he going to stay in Russia for a couple of years? How hard is it going to be to get him out of there? You know, he's playing for when you're in St. Petersburg, you're playing for one of the KHL teams that's got a little bit of money.
Yep.
It's a little harder to pry those guys out of there. You know, when they're playing for some of these programs that you can't pronounce, you're like, oh, okay, well, you know, these guys consistently leave for North American money at some point. But I don't know. These are two guys that I just struggle with. So that's it. The conversation, the draft just kind of led us here. So I thought I would get into this because we're not going to have time tomorrow.
Yep. Tomorrow's going to be a crazy day.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess you took Pastujov. I've got Carolina.
Correct.
Two guys that I really want to take with this pick are Sam Nedeljkovic and Sean Behrens.
All right. Can totally see Sam Nedeljkovic for sure.
I have a harder time seeing Behrens as a first-round pick.
Me too.
I don't know. I struggle. Behrens reminds me so much of Sam Girard.
There it is. Yeah.
There's like a lot of a really good passer, he's a really good skater, a really good player.
Yeah.
All around. He's too small to be physical, so he has to play smart. He has to be really good with a stick, and he is. And he's really sticky. The same way that Girard is really sticky defensively. And I see so much of that in Sean Behrens, and I just wonder, have we learned enough? You know, how much did Girard's struggles in the postseason scare teams away from a Sam Girard type in the future? You know that there will be some teams that will be like, see, can't do it. And there will be other teams who are like, we'll take that chance.
Yep.
And Carolina's been a very comfortable, we'll take that chance. They've drafted a lot of smaller guys in the last couple of years because they've just said, hey, we want good players. And their scouting department is awesome. So I'm torn here. And I also feel there's a lot of pressure here because they draft so well. I feel like I have to live up to being Carolina's guy here. So I think I am. I think I'm going to take Sean Behrens.
All right. Lock it in. That makes it to the Avs pick, which, AJ, I'm open to having a discussion here since it's the Avs, obviously. Not just going to take this pick by myself. You have... By picking Behrens, you have conveniently left Sam Nedeljkovic on the board for yourself.
I mean, it's your pick, so it's not like I did that on purpose.
I know, but Sam Miscavige is there. Who else would you consider for this pick, AJ?
So Chibrikov, funnily enough. The other guys, Xavier Bourgault is still here.
Yep.
A guy that I like way more than other people is Ayrton Martino. I really like him. I'm really iffy on Colorado's ability to take like a tiny dude.
No love for Rosen.
I would say that my bigger temptation is William Stromgren.
Okay.
If I'm going to go for a Swede. The thing that I like about Stromgren, obviously the size, he's tall, but he's so lanky. So he has a long way to go physically to fill out. It's going to be a while till he's
rely
ready.
on there. Yeah, for sure.
He's not a sexy player at all. There's no sex appeal to that game. It is very, very meat and potatoes. Good, like he's a wing that plays a smart and heavy game, heavy-ish game. And I like the goal scoring potential that he has. I think he's just a good all-around offensive player, but there's nothing particularly flashy. There's nothing sexy about it. And it's going to take a while to fill out.
Yeah.
And now with them having a second round pick, you know, maybe one of these cats can fall to you.
Can fall, for sure.
So there's that, you know, there's a...
Yeah, honestly, for me, I think it's probably between Sam Miscavige and Bourgault, but
okay.
Don't really want Chibrikov with this pick.
What I like about Bourgault is that he's a really good shooter, and it would kind of fit the Sampo Ranta, Alex Bocage
stylisticness, yeah.
Where they've really targeted really good shooters in the last couple of years.
Sure.
I think he's more Bourgault's. I think his skating is more like quickness and agility than it is like fast
power. Yeah.
You know, like I don't see it as, I don't see him as like an explosive skater, but a dynamic one. Like he's good edge work, really quick, good agility, good elusiveness, right? But he's not like, if you get him into a foot race with a bunch of guys, he's not gonna like stand out in any way.
But he'll sidestep you, yeah.
Consistency makes me a little bit nervous. Really.
Sure. You live with the up and down of it.
A guy like your classic, like, takes over when he's on, disappears when he's not.
Yeah.
You know, what position does he play in pros?
Yeah, is he really a wing in the pros? I don't know, but
where does he go? I'm a lot of questions that I have for Bourgault.
Yeah.
I like the player. The problem is that I think my really big problem here is at 27, we put ourselves into a position where I don't love any of these guys.
Right. Yeah.
You're picking like, I love what Sam Miscavige does offensively, but he's a complete one-way player.
Literally don't even put him out there in the defensive zone. Yeah.
You know, I'm intrigued by a guy like Francesco Pinelli. I wonder where's the offense going to come from, but you can see really, really high IQ player, really smart player, understands the game, always in the right position, is likely a center moving forward, but is he a 3 or 4C?
It's just so.
Are you just redoing Shane Bowers?
Right. It's a lot easier to, in my opinion, I think it's easier to teach a player how to play defense than it is to teach a player how to play offense at the NHL level.
Yeah, well, guys, offensively, to your point there, those guys are always good with the puck.
Yep,
that's not going anywhere.
exactly.
The thing that makes me nervous about Samoskevich with the defense is that it's effort. He doesn't give a shit about it.
He can just try if he wants to try.
we saw with Tyson Jost, right? Like,
yep.
Tyson Jost that's a guy that he put the work in. He could be taught to PK and to be more of a defensive oriented center as his career needed in order for him to survive in the NHL. He had to adapt in that way.
Yep.
A smart and hardworking player can do that. Those are attributes there. And with Samoskevich, can he be taught to play deep? Look at Andreas Athanasiou. Team after team after team after team has tried in his life to get him to give a shit about defense, and he won't do it. He's now 26 years old, and he's been in the NHL for a while, and he's been around. He's made a little bit of money. He's done well for himself. And if you could get a guy like that in the NHL, there's some value there. But he's a defensive black hole. It's why he can't get a long-term deal. It's why he can't get, like, a big
True.
So, Samoskevich gives me really big Athanasiou, he won't ever get it vibes. And as much as I love the skill level and the talent, I'm nervous about bringing that attribute into the organization and just like bashing your head against this wall, trying to get him to get it.
Now, this is the 27th pick. You're not going to get a flawless player at this point or anywhere near it, right? So no matter who you're bringing in, you're dealing with some element of that.
Which flaws are we most comfortable with?
I think I prefer Bourgault, to be honest with you.
Okay. Ultimately, you're the GM here.
All right. Well, then I'm picking Bourgault.
All right. Bourgault it is. Bam.
Selected.
Right. We've got 4 picks left.
Yep. You have New Jersey at 28.
Oh, and I already picked for New Jersey at 4. I took Eklund.
Yep. So you got the high end possibility there.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take Samoskevich.
Who could have seen that coming?
Again, that's an organization. They need an injection of dynamic talent on their wings.
For sure.
Good with that.
Yep. All right. Samoskevich gone.
Vegas.
29. I have Vegas. Doesn't matter what I pick because they will fail to develop it and then ship it off and they'll get good somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
I think I like Chibrikov here, honestly.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Done. Montreal for you, and then another Columbus pick for me.
So Montreal, I am going to stay sort of local here.
Okay.
And I'm going to continue to attack this position for this organization. I'm taking Zach Dean.
Yeah. Not super surprised to see it go that way, to be honest. Montreal is such a weird city when it comes to that type of thing, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Columbus, they're definitely taking it forward here since they went DD. Who do I like? I could go with Martino or Stromgren.
You should totally go with another D.
For the 3D.
Yeah,
you should. Take Safozil here, too.
Yeah, go with Safozil, and you're done.
Can't do it.
They've rebuilt their defense like what Ottawa did. They just kept drafting defenders. And now you're like, oh my God, their defense looks like it's going to be amazing if these guys are all legit.
They have to all be legit, though, I think is the minor holdup there. But
yeah, well, and it also helps when you have a top 5 pick.
I think I'm going to go with Pinelli. actually.
Okay.
Going with the center choice.
They need him.
Yep. Turns out Patrick Laine can't play center, so.
All right. So really, we pretty much we did a. This is minor surprises here. McTavish and Genther get to 10 and 11.
Big falls for them.
Stankoven, I guess, could be a minor surprise at 22.
Lysell fell a little bit.
Yeah, Lysell was. That will be interesting. Scott Morrow's probably the biggest from me for that one.
Yep.
Otherwise, a lot of these are fine.
So expect chaos tomorrow night. Nothing like this, basically.
Yeah. Did you keep along with it? We can switch to the board.
Yeah. Except for I did one incorrectly, but that's an easy fix.
Okay. Well, I mean, a fix.
All right. How do I go to the actual board? Do you know how? Or can I guess I just go through it and deal with it? That's fine.
Yeah.
I thought there was a way to show only the picks that we made, but apparently not. All right. Anyway, here you go. So Owen Power and Manny Beniers go 1-2. Luke Hughes is the second D to go in the draft at 3 to Anaheim, and then Eklund to New Jersey, and then Edmondson, maybe a little bit of a surprise to round up the top 5 there. 3D in the top 5. But Wallstead goes at 6, Johnson and Clark 7 and 8.
I guess that might have been the other surprise, Wallstead going that high.
Yeah. Moving on down.
I don't know. We'll see.
Lucius at 9, McTavish, Gunther 10 and 11, as we already mentioned. Sillinger at 12. I feel really good about that pick for Calgary, man.
Thanks.
Think that
I really like Cole Sillinger.
Might be a steal right there at 12, I think. But Coronado at 13, Svechkov, Bolduc, and Lambos rounding out the top half of the draft. Then we get into, I guess you're looking at the Central Division mostly here. You have Lambos to St. Louis, Ceulemans to Winnipeg, Lysell to Nashville, and then down a little bit, LaRue to Winnipeg, or to Minnesota, sorry.
You also had to switch those two.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
We went LaRue to Boston and
Chayka to Minnesota. That's the two that I screwed up. Yeah. My bad.
No bigs.
Could have done it multiple more times. I don't know. Watch this be correct. My screwed up pick order be the one that actually happens.
That'd be pretty funny. Honestly, if you flip them, they both make sense.
Yep.
And the fact that I've been so vocal about how much I like Zach LaRue means that Minnesota's definitely taking him. Every year
curse continues. Yeah.
They draft that guy. Oh, hey, the Avs just sent out a press release.
Is it just about their schedule?
Oh, okay. They re-signed Kiefer Sherwood.
Neat. Let's see. Was it just a 1-year deal? Does it even say?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1-year contract. All right, cool. Easy. Sherwood has been extended a year, which makes sense. Dude can easily be a 13th, 14th forward for the Avs this year. No problem.
Yeah, he can be a whatever for the Avs. Somewhere in there.
Yep. The other goalie Casa went to Edmonton at 19. Then you kind of round out the draft. Things get a little exciting past the 20 mark with Stankoven going to Detroit, Ratu going to Florida, and then Morrow to Columbus for their second D, Pastajov to Minnesota for their second pick, and then Barons to Carolina before the Avs ending up with Xavier Bourgault. I'm comfortable with it.
If this is how it goes, if they end up with Xavier Bourgault,
yep.
Where prospect hierarchy in the organization, where does he fit in like, say, a top 5? And let's assume Byram is graduated. Let's assume Newhook has graduated.
All right, let me see. Oh, I can't use this one. I can find it, I swear. All right, so he'd definitely be in the top 5. At the, like, he probably jumps over Bowers pretty easily, right? At this point,
Yeah, is where so. If those guys are if those guys are off the prospect list, then is Justin Barron number 1?
I think he has to be.
Is it Barron 1, Kaut 2?
Is Kaut still even on the list, really?
Yes. And then Bourgault somewhere in there. Maybe Bourgault 2.
I don't. If Cout's on the list, I think Kaut would be ahead of him. So
okay, and then Ranta somewhere in here as well.
Probably Ranta. I think I'd put Bourgault ahead of Ranta, so maybe Ranta 4.
Okay, so Bourgault at 3 then.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I could reasonably put anyone else in the system ahead of him because Timmins has graduated.
Oh yeah, he's definitely graduated. Justin Barron, number 1 spot.
Bocage 5, maybe. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, boy, system thinned out quick.
Yep, that's how it goes, man. But they get to make a 2nd and 3rd round picks in this draft now, so they fill it out a little bit more.
Yeah,
and hopefully my boy jumps up the list in Ambrosio this year. Feeling good about it. Actually, you know what? Probably Foodie deserves to be in the top 5, but
did you see the thing today? The announcement today?
No.
That CHL kids who played 20 games in the AHL last year are eligible to return to the AHL.
Good.
So Foodie can go back, man.
He should.
Yeah, he should.
That is very good. Foodie definitely probably makes my top 5 then. But probably over just like Bocage or something. Anyway, yeah. Finishing out the drafts. We didn't take Sam Miskevich for Colorado, so AJ immediately snapped him up for New Jersey. Chibrikov to Vegas, and then finished out with Zach Dean and Francesco Pinelli is the last 2 picks of the first round. Definitely an interesting one. I think it definitely shows that there were virtually no OHLers taken. Look at the leagues we're getting into, the leagues that played a lot, whether that be NCAA, European leagues, college, or not college, the Q, which played, depending on where in the Q you played a good amount of hockey, and then a bunch of USHL kids as well.
A bunch of USHL kids.
Yep. So it's a weird draft year, to say the least.
Yeah.
In any case, I guess final thoughts here on our mock draft, AJ, and are you expecting mass chaos tomorrow?
No.
Gonna be a boring draft.
Let me rephrase. I'm expecting mass chaos on the draft board.
But not
in terms of transactions around the league. No, I think it'll be a quiet day. Yeah, I think that's where it's at.
Cool. I am digging it. In any case, that's it for us today. Thank you, everybody, for watching, listening, however you consume the podcast. I know that Megaphone is dumb. We'll try and see if I can't figure out a way to upload the podcast faster. I don't know. I'll try to do it from my laptop or something. Hopefully that'll fix it. But we are out of here for today. We will be back tomorrow night live watching the NHL draft. Should be a fun show from the bar. So hopefully y'all will tune into that. And should be a fun time. Hope to see you there. Until then, have a great rest of y'all's Thursday.